Hey y'all, I'm Heather and welcome to my channel, The Debt-Free Quilter. Today we are going to be working on the Buzzard's Roost block. This block right here. And once again, it's another block that looks far more complicated than it is. So here is my miniature version. And as usual, we'll be working on our medium-sized version today. So let's get started. Okay. The next thing we want to do is take two of our marked squares and one of our rectangles. And we want to align our squares on top of our rectangle, and we're going to sew down this line, or just a hair to the right of this line. Okay, now we want to check that this piece of our square covers everything over here, and it looks like it's close enough. So what I'm going to do is take my snips and cut off about a 1/4 inch away from my sew line, maybe a little scant. Then I'm going to take my pressing stick and press that over. Normally I would take this to the iron, and I will take it to the iron in a little bit to press it flat, but I would like to chain piece the rest of these. Then we align our other square along the other side and do the same thing, sewing down the line this way, or a hair to the left of that line. Alright, this is what's called the one at a time flying geese method. And once again, this corner covers everything nicely. So again, I'm going to take my snips and cut roughly a 1/4 inch away, maybe a little less, like I said. Take my pressing stick again. This, like I said, this will go to the iron with everything else. And here we have our flying geese unit. Now, we're going to make a bunch of these. And for the rest, I will be stopping in the middle and going to the iron to press. But it's far easier to chain piece them than it is to do one at a time. But we have our first one done, so now I can speed through the rest of these in time lapse. Okay, y'all. Here's a good reason to keep a hold of your scraps. Yeah. I'm leaving it. I'm not gonna mess with it. I had another piece because I kept my scraps from my cutting because I knew I might need them. So I just made another piece. Not that big a deal. Excuse me. Let's lay out our block. First we need our center square. We pick a block to go up there and down there. And we're going to build this from the inside out. Let's see. Okay, so here's our starting point. What we're going to do now is start from the middle and work our way out. So I'm going to take these two and so do this one. Then also these two together, and then these three on either side. Now the thing with this one is we may have to trim a little bit as we go, so we'll see how we do. Okay, what I have done is I've taken my pieces, my units, and set them over here in the same configuration of where they went when I had them over on my, over by the sewing machine. What I'm going to do now is press everything and then put everything back in the same order so I don't lose where anybody goes. And here's how everything looks all pressed. And now we're going to go back over there and sew it. Okay, so what we're doing now is working with the interior of the block. And as you can see, we have seams coming on either side, so we need to find the center of this, and we're going to do the same trick we did for, I believe it was block 1, where we fold and we pinch. Because I want this center seam right here to hit right there in the center of this middle unit. Now if it hangs off the end a little bit, it's fine. We can trim it. It's not a big deal. Now we're going to go press this before we can add the next pieces. Okay. I'm just going to set my seams all at once. Okay. Let it cool a second. And press these out. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go trim both of these sides and then put on the next two pieces, rinse and repeat. Okay. So now we have our center all nice and squared up again. And it is time to add these two pieces. Right, here we go. Okay. To make this easier on myself, I flipped it sideways. And now I need to find the center of this crossing right here. Because that is the center of the block. Okay, and we're going to go press again before we add our last two sides. All right, last two sides. Now this one is a little bit harder, but we can once again do that fold and pinch. And we have to line the center up with this seam right here. And that will once again leave us with some hanging off the ends. It's okay. Means my 1/4 inch is not exact, but you know what? As long as I am consistent, it'll be just fine. And there we have it, our Buzzard's Roost block. It definitely needs to be trimmed. Definitely. But we'll get to that another day. And I realize this is a dark block. That's just where we were at in the layer cake I was using. Lots of dark fabrics. It's still adorable though, I love it. Now, to make this Buzzard's Roost block, we need quite a few flying geese and one center square. As we see, we have the smaller version and the medium version, and the larger version will come in time lapse. Once again, life has been crazy lately, y'all. I do my best to get my videos out, but I have not had a whole lot of time or energy here lately. So I'm doing the best I can to get caught up and get back on my schedule that I set for myself. Nobody else sets it for me. I did it to myself. So I will do my darndest to get back to it. In the meantime, have a great day. Have a great week. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.